Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the Life Be Life and podcast. I'm your host, Coach Emery Cannon here. And today we have an example of a great author, poet. We have Mr. Kaiserific with us today, and he is going to tell us a little bit about his story, his journey on how to be a self-published author, a poet, and just an all-around great guy. How you doing, Mr. Kaiserific?
How you doing, sir? Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. A little bit about me. I am a 21-time self-published author. I've been published since 2012. I've been a poet since I was a kid, but really getting into poetry, I was about 30 years old
Wow.
when I first performed. I went out to Legacy, and then for those, that's right at Delmar and Union 5249 Delmar Boulevard. And I was invited. And so when I saw these different people, Shay Brown, Irvin Williams, all these people I knew who were performing, they invited me. So every night, I'll go, every Friday night after I leave there, I would go home and start writing some. And see, when I was in school, high school, I didn't think my writing was all that good.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got to grow up and start living life, the words switched up and it got a lot better for me.
So it kind of it manifested with you, kind of soaked in, and you started putting words and syllables and um, sentences together that made sense and resonated with the people, obviously, because you have a very successful poetry night that goes on.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that poetry night.
I have a show that I started in 2019 called That New Shit, and it's an open mic for poets, anybody that come through, basically, but mainly poets.
Mm-hmm.
And we do sometimes feature artists. We may have someone from out of town. We may have someone locally here.
Yeah.
And the poets get to come up if we have the right amount of time to do two poems, 5-6 minutes, And I don't have no judgment, no critiques, no criticisms. You come as you are and have a good time. And this is like one of the shows I produced. I produced this one. This is my baby. I took over. I hosted an open mic before that called IDGAL. It was based off of a poem that I wrote. And so my former manager at the time said, "Let's do an open mic." I said, "Fine."
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted and ran for a good 3 years. And then I turned over and said I want to do my own. So my friend Truth came up with the name That New Shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took it and I ran with it. And it's been going ever since. And then from there, I produced the show Kings of Poetry.
Okay.
And it was a one night of the elite male poets. I mean, you're going to have all different poets, 16 bars. You got Truth, you got Twisted Poet. I mean, we had a whole gang of people. And to see Black men in one room who are not fighting, who are not going off on each other, who are not down on each other, and we're spitting words and saying things that within our hearts was a beautiful thing. And then I turned around, produced the Queens of Poetry, which was like, we skipped over a year because of COVID in 2020. So 2021 was my year for a lot of stuff that happened.
Yeah.
And so that one really kicked off with T Spirit, Shay Brown, Lightning, and the whole thing. And everybody been asking, "What are you gonna do the next? What are you gonna do?" I haven't done anything since that because I had a lot of other stuff that was going on. But I want to give opportunity. Whereas when I started, I didn't get the opportunity that a lot of other people had. Everybody was like, in our circle, we have a lot of people who are very cliquish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it like that and be very blunt, honest. And so this person, they'll put their friends and this person on, and then they don't want to give me an up and coming poet a chance, or they don't think that my poetry was good enough to them. But I said, you know what? Forget that. I do what I want to do, when I want to do, and however I want to do. So I start producing my own shows. So going into the books part, I wasn't originally thinking about publishing, and I saw Shay Brown had a DVD, and I seen some other people like Lewis Confliction had a CD, and other people. I said, I want to do what y'all do. She said, no, you write a book. So I wrote my first book called Fire, Freedom, Independent, Revelation, Emancipation. And I'm redoing that book over right now. So, but successful. It was my fire book. It was like hot. I was like I wanted to be an angry poet that everybody loved to come see, but that wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was a love poet, and I wrote. I had to learn write what you know or what you are accustomed to,
Hmm.
and all the other stuff will come in due time.
Yeah.
And I say, as an artist here in St. Louis, oh, it's hard for me because it's like a lot of people don't know me. A lot of people don't recognize me. A lot of people get on all these big shows that I don't get to get included. People don't feature me no more. And it's like I'm still out here. I'm still doing poetry.
Yeah.
So that new shit ran from May 17th, 2019, and I ended it in December of 2023 because I wanted to go back to focus on being a poet.
Okay.
But all of 2024, I got harassed, pulling alleys, everybody saying, I need you to be a poet again. I need you to put the open mic back on. We need you back. So I did a few things here and there. So recently we just did one April 18th. Same weekend with my friend Casmo. He had an event
Hmm.
which I finally found out we're doing some similar thing next month for next month. And it went well. So all right, it's official. The open mic is back. So we're bringing it back for those who really wants to come in, get that feel, want to bring their hot shit, their new shit, whatever they want that they feel.
Yeah.
I believe in the poets. I believe in what they do, how they do it, and I was gonna step back and let everybody else who had something going on do their thing. But everybody's saying you can't step out, you can't step away, you gotta be a part of this. This is you.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll do it. And in the time that I wasn't doing anything, because I was working on podcasts over at overtime, but that kind of ended the production due to other reasons. And so I had time to sit down and write. In my 2021 books, with all this stuff going on, I wrote books of poetry, short stories, affirmations. I did this one with my friend Teal. It's called True
True story.
Story, Poetry with a Twist. So we both kind of expressed our poetry and our similarities and our diversity. And we was like, we just have fun. We've been friends forever. So I said, she wanted to come. She hit me up. She said, I want to come out to a poetry show. So
Yeah.
I brought her to the Queens of Poetry. And she didn't, she thought it was going to be like, oh, this regular poetry is going to be a little poor. When she saw how profound it was, she was like, I'm ready. I'm signing up. When are we going to do this? So,
So is it like an open mic, like anybody could sign up, or
well,
you
that new
already
shit,
have
with
performances
that new
ready?
shit, yes.
Okay.
They can sign up on open mic, and then at some point at night, we'll have like the feature poet.
Okay.
Let's say I'm featuring you, I bring you in, and I believe in paying my artists
Yeah.
because a lot of times places go, they don't have the money to pay people, or they don't want to pay people, or whatever the case may be, and they want all this time, and yet you're charging at the door.
Yeah.
And I feel that people drove, that's gas, people made their way, they got to eat, they got to get around. So, and you sign up, you get I call you up as a host, or I might have a guest host, whoever's doing it. And then we'll bring out the feature. I give them, used to be 30 minutes back in the day, but like you said, with time and people's attention span, we didn't change that to like 10, 15 minutes of them,
Yeah.
give them that, and so we can go right back into the open mic and finish out the night. Because we done, we'll do a big old cipher at the end of the night. Everybody,
Really?
and a cipher, and well, for those that don't know what a cipher is, you get up, you say your poem. You don't give no introduction. You don't give why you wrote this. You just get up to do your poem and you walk off. That's
Wow.
it. And it's just I love the vibe that it comes with.
Yeah.
I appreciate Legacy for letting me have it there because one, we got a parking lot where you gotta walk a mile high.
Right.
Because some places you gotta walk a great distance just to get to the building. You got a bar there, so if you need some drinks, that's right there. And then right next door is Too Much Sauce, which is one of the places that had the best wings in St. Louis, the best fish. I love them. I did a show over there on her side. She also have event space too, so I did a show over there. That's another show I did called "Can I Get on the Mic?" Because I produced a show where you can sit in the host seat
Hmm.
and actually host an open mic because Nobody knows what us hosts goes through.
No, no, and I can
The
imagine it's
howling of
crazy.
yes, the howling of artists. People, when am I going on? When am I going? When am I going? And then, well, this is your show. Blah blah blah. No, you need to know what it's like to feel as a host. So they get the experience of a host. I pay them as a host. So you gotta entertain the crowd. You gotta know how to pronounce people's names and bring them up, and how to introduce them, whether they newcomers or there's been somebody that's been around. So it was like so that way when you leave,
Mhm.
you can say, "Well, I got experience of hosting an open mic. I can do if you need someone to host, I can do it because I have experience. If you need to see it, I've done it, you know." So and I've even done a show called Poetry Lude, giving first I gave a few ladies who was their first year or first few years as a poet who hadn't received a feature a chance to feature. So and that was my life. You know, I'd done the podcast world. I'd done it from home on Blog Talk, which I missed them. They just ended early this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Overtime Studios, My City, My Music, Soldier by Blood with them as well. We all have done something, work with each other. Give it out to Cass, Justin, and Tweezy for including me on a lot of their stuff. But to go into talking about the book thing real quickly, I took me a while to decide if I wanted to go through a publishing company or do I want to self-publish.
Yes, it's tough to decide that. What
Yeah,
made up your mind to do self-publishing?
because of the fact that with publishers, they don't give you full creative freedom.
Right, that's true.
And I learned from the Jackson Five when they left Motown that they wanted full creative control of their music.
Correct,
I want full creative control of my book writing.
correct.
And so I did my research. I kept looking. I was in I was going to school at pharmacy for pharmacy tech at Sanford Brown at the time. I was like trying to be how I'm gonna do this. What I want to do. I'm 30 years old. I'm like, okay, I want to do this. So I still read up on self publishing. Like self publishing was the best way to go.
It felt like it. It
Yeah,
really did. Like,
you can write at your own time. There's no deadline. You can write as much. And the fun part is putting the book together.
yeah,
I had fun putting these books together. I created this cover.
and it looks amazing.
I loved the whole thing. I found it. I saw what I wanted out of it, and I showed it to Teal. She was like, "I love this." And then this one here, my friend Alicia Moning in of Dallas, Texas, who I've known for years, helped me put this one together. And I had a 2 year hiatus before I put this one out,
Okay.
and from book publishing. And I said, do I still got it? So I started writing this, and I'm like, all right, okay. So she came up with the cover and the back and the promotion,
Yeah, it looks amazing.
and it's
Even the
been
back,
going ever
yes.
since. Now this is Amazon's all they're doing on the back, but it was a great book. People really liked that one. They liked Writings for the Soul. My favorite books out of all the 20 would probably be the Dirty Little Sex Secret book. Everybody likes that because they all care. Like, what do men have to say about women in the bedroom? Like, okay, you read that, find out Dirty Little Sex Secret too. What I Love About You, Taste of Love, Writings for the Soul, True Story. I wrote. I I was in a friend's house one day, and I said it'd be nice if I write an inspirational type of spiritual type poetry book.
Hmm.
And I was just laughing about it. And here I am years later, 2023, I put out After the Storm.
Okay.
And when I was working on this stuff, I felt that it wasn't my words, it was God's words.
Wow.
And anything I do, I feel God is in the midst of it because,
Absolutely.
and I'm not going to say everything because some things, as humans, we be human, but and that book that touched me a lot because I got in tune with my spirituality. So I'm not religious, but I'm more spiritual, and I know God is real, and I do continue to pray. And some of the stuff I wrote, Teal was sitting there right behind me reading it, and I read it. I said, "What you think?" She was in tears. A lot of people was in tears when they read some of that.
Now, which book is this?
After the Storm.
And where can they get that book at?
They can get that one and all the books over at on Amazon.com.
What do they search?
They search Kaiserific, and you spell Kaiserific with Kaise, two R's, IFIC, like on the book.
You got to get these books. So tell us more about this book because it seems like it touched you like all the way through.
Yes. With After the Storm, I had dealt with some backlash, some things, some I would say somewhat breakups or disbandments with people I knew, and I felt that at some point in time I was I was overloaded with animosity, overloaded with mad anger and everything. I said I need to get back to God. I need to get back to a circle. I need to find some peace
Mm-hmm.
and personal prayer, different things. God is love. Different things I needed to feel at that given time because I felt lost.
Okay.
And so when I wrote that book, I started feeling the words. I said I wrote if I was God and I could fix things, I want to fix cancer, fix people having diabetes, fix any disease that people are going, fix poverty, end racism. If I was God to make the world beautiful again, that's what I wanted to do. And I just started writing, and then I started writing. Um, I got a little political about the preachers and how someone used the church for their personal financial gain,
Right.
but overall, continuing on the spiritual journey,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it for people who are going through some. Because in my mind and how I feel right now, the world is in a lot of hurt.
Mm-hmm.
People hurt every day. People are dealing with all kinds of stuff, and they're so angry. Financial issues with the government where we are now is like so. Give a little encouragement, a little help, a little love, a little appreciation for you. Find yourself, pick yourself up. You gotta get past your storms in life.
Yes.
These storms are hovering over you, and you gotta learn that I can live, I can survive, I can keep going forward. You can't let life beat you down.
Okay.
And so this is life after the storm. As long as you keep a clear path, know God is real. God is in your heart and in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I know if my mother was here, and she would probably be smiling for me saying all this because I know how my mother was.
Yeah.
And just keep going forward. Like you can life doesn't stop at some point. You gotta keep going, keep building yourself up. And so after that I felt better. I felt I let a
You
lot go.
release.
It was like I compared it when I was joking one day. I said it was like I remember the story about Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson having a discussion when Marvin was working on what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and he tells her, "Smoke, this is God's music. This is God's words."
Yeah.
And I felt the same way because I'm like, this is God's words to me to talk to you, the readers, to get that point. And then some of the reviews have been really good. They said it's really good spiritual
That's good.
cleansing for some of them. They were really touched by it. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, this is the
That's what
goal.
you wanted.
Right. And what I did differently was any other time I put my book out, I said Kaiserific, but I actually went by Christopher Kaiser
Really?
because of the fact that the Kaiserific name is affiliated with a lot of things, and I didn't want that to be fall old. It's just why would he write this type of book and he write erotica and he write this? I write everything.
Yeah. You don't
And
limit yourself.
right, there shouldn't be no limits. You should be having an open mind. You should open up your horizons and go above and beyond what you want to do. And that's for any artist. I tell, do you.
Yeah.
Don't stop here. Keep going. And I think with some of the criticism I received that what I do, I make people work harder from what I was told
Yeah.
because I like to do things the right way. I'm not cutting corners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm not going to do half-ass stuff just because y'all doing half-ass stuff. I'm gonna pay my artists. If you want to publish a book, I will help you, and I've done that. I helped a few friends. If you trying to get out there as a poet, come on out. I'll get you started. Who knows? If I like what I see, I may feature you out of nowhere.
Right.
Because I've had people who came out of the streets and they got featured right off the top. I'm like, how did they get a feature? Because they're good. One of my favorite features was when I did the first That New Shit was T Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Stanton is like one of the sweetest people in the world. Her story is so unique,
Mm-hmm.
and she's overcame her storms in life. Now this girl all different cities, different countries. She's doing everything in the world. But I saw her at first time at Verbs After Work, which was a show produced by DJ Out Business and his wife, Daniela Monet. And I saw her there. I said to my friend, I said, you know what I'm saying? She said, yeah. First feature of the show. And it was a really successful show. And the show been going there well. I love T Spirit. I love what she's done. She's grown so much. She's an advocate. She's a woman of the community. She has her own open mic. She's a voice of reason. So I was happy that to see where she went and to just soar. And that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
See, I said in many interviews before, I said St. Louis artists have a thing that they just want to be St. Louis artists, where they have this entourage here that keeps them hyped. They ain't got to worry about going outside and say, no, you got to leave the city. You got to leave the state.
And when you do, you see how big other cities are, and your crowd grows.
Most definitely.
Like, I do a lot of coaching here in St. Louis. A lot of my base comes from outside of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, St. Louis is a great city.
Yes.
Great city, has a lot of culture. But people don't get St. Louis people everywhere.
No.
This is a different type of city, and the way you're raised, you take that with you, and the suppression sometimes that comes along with that makes, if you're going to be suppressed, you're going to be suppressed, but you learn to rise above it.
Yes.
And those that do that and get outside of the city, they learn so much.
Oh yeah. And then fail to realize that when you go out there and you meet new people, you're gaining new fans, new followers, new everything. Hell, if you got a product like a CD or a book, your money's going to expand because more people are buying it.
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of them are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
In order to
the fear of failure.
Yes. And my theory has always been, to understand success, you have to understand failure.
Exactly.
And there's been times I failed and I had to go back into the drawing board, what I like, what I didn't like. Like this book I'm working on now, I have changed the name and the cover and the look and the ideal over a zillion times, and I'm still learning. And I'm like, even for like the art, if you go out there and you fail the first time, you go back. What did I do on the first leg of my tour? Where did we go wrong? How do we fix this? Well, how can we change this? How can we make it better? What can we do? People forget to perform.
Exactly.
People forget to be artists. They worry about the hype. They worry about their ego.
Exactly.
Let's be artists. Let's give people entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that. My 4 teachers in entertainment wasn't poets. Maybe 1 or 2 were in somewhat way, but I had Michael Jackson,
okay,
Prince,
mm-hmm.
James Brown,
okay,
and Berry Gordy.
All right.
And the reason I picked those 3, I'm going to go from Berry Gordy first. Berry Gordy pulled kids out of the projects in Detroit and made them Supremes and Miracles and Temptations and everything. He said they wanted to be, like he said, the Temptations, I want to be the biggest black group, but he said I want to be the biggest group in the world.
Yeah.
And he made the Jackson 5 superstars beyond their before puberty, so
yes.
My whole thing is, you don't want to just be, I just want to be a St. Louis poet, or I just want to be a St. Louis musician or singer. No, I want to be a poet or a musician everywhere.
That's it. That's it right
Thank you.
there.
And so my whole longevity of what I've been doing for the last 15 years as a poet, yes, people know me in Kentucky. People know me in Kansas City. People know me in Florida. I went to Florida to do a poetry show as a headliner and for a civil rights museum.
Wow.
And my friend Janet Dawson took me down there, flight, paid for everything, took care of me. I had fun. It was a different experience. Mm-hmm. And then also, when you are artists, you have to know what you're working with as far. Because I had people back home saying, "Why you ain't doing your normal stuff?" I said, "This is a totally different crowd."
Yeah.
So you give them a different experience to show how diverse you can be versus just the same thing. Because I don't want to be just stuck, St. Louis poet. No, I'm a poet all around.
Yes, and you have 21 books. And your 21 books aren't just in St. Louis, it's worldwide because you published on Amazon.
Yes.
And that's a worldwide company. So
yes.
You're out there.
I've had people in Australia, in Europe, buy my books. I'm like, whoa, did I get a book?
Don't you love when you go to the KDP and you look and see what countries bought your book?
Yes.
Has US and I got people in UK bought my book and I really couldn't believe it. I was like, who knows me there,
But you'd be surprised. That's just like TV streaming. My friend Rayleigh and Tony, they're a couple. They have a show. They have a Roku channel called People's Choice.
Okay.
And they stream their new shit, and they stream the Queens of Poetry. And my Queens of Poetry 2 was like one of the most watched shows. And they had told me that my open mic is being watched in other parts of the world.
That's crazy.
People love it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's continue this. Let's do this. I want people to know me for me. I've been criticized. I've been looked down. I've been talked about. But you can stone me all day, but I have tough rhinoceros skin. I'm gonna keep getting back up. I'm gonna keep.
I always tell people this: if you're being criticized, if you're being judged, that means you're doing it right because that means they're watching you. Yes. So I never pay attention. I don't pay attention to the good or bad. I just continue with what my mission is.
Yes.
Good or bad, what people say is thought provoking.
Right.
It's provocative to them. I'm okay with that.
Right.
As long as they're talking about me, I'm still kind of relevant, so I'm okay with that. And that's how you should take it too is,
of course.
I love it. I love it when people are talking about
Keep my name in your mouth. Yeah. Keep me relevant so that when people can come, like, who's this person?
Yeah.
So my thing is my sense of personality, I don't walk with ego. Every now and then I have my moments, but my awards I've received a plaque in Florida. I received awards here. I've been nominated so many times as a poet, as a photographer, because I do photography too. My business, Cambridge Photography, which
where can they book you to get pictures done? Because I know tons of people that watch this show that need that. So please tell them.
I'm on Facebook under Cambridge Photography. Is K apostrophe lowercase RIFF photography. You can find the page. It'll be like a camera, black and white camera with my name on it. I'm also on Instagram under that same name. They can also give me a call at, can I put the number out there?
Yeah.
314-986-5044. I ask that we book in advance and a deposit so that we can lock the date in. I've done weddings, I've done birthday events, I've done graduation photos, I've done some prom photos, I've done quite a few things. I've been doing this since 2019.
Wow.
So my whole entertainment tree started, I was a kid. I was a Michael Jackson impersonator in high school. That was my life. That was my love. And I wanted to do that.
Who don't like Mike?
I was 16 winning talent shows from this. Mm-hmm. And I got into doing theatrical plays in high school. I did one in college at Flow Valley. And I got to work with Suzanne Rogers, who played Maggie Horton on Days of Our Lives.
Wow.
And like I said, my tree, I haven't returned to theater, but I want to grow in the branch. So when I started doing spoken word poetry, I loved it for the fact that I got my theatrics in and I can get my poetry in.
Yes.
And so that was that. And then I learned the concept of producing a show. I learned the concept of hosting the show. I got to learn to be a feature, and I featured quite a bit. And then podcasts. I mean, so my tree. I wanted my tree to be like spraying like a Christmas tree. And then I did. And I said, I'm tired of taking pictures with my phone at my open mics, and the picture be looking all blurry. So I went out and brought me a camera.
Of course.
My former manager, Von Donald of Secure Entertainment, he used to have me do lighting. I watched him. I watched a few things, and then I took the perspective because I loved photography when I was in school. I was a teenager and loving it, but I couldn't afford a camera at the time.
Right
now, I'm here. I am 30-some years. I bought my first camera. I was like, okay, let's do this. So been snapping pictures ever since. I just brought a new camera because I had to get the other one fixed. So I keep myself busy to let people know, hey, anything you want to do, you can do it. And there's no limits. That's why I say you don't limit yourself.
Never.
Who knows? I might go into voice animation because I do voiceover sometimes with people.
Really?
We play. I do a lot of things. A lot of people don't know about me. And you can always find me, Google me, Kaiserrific, Kaise, 2 R's, IFIC. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I don't use my X account because that's other reasons. But Google me. I'm all over. You'll see pictures from my timeline of all the things I've done. You go to YouTube. You can find me there too. I have a YouTube page. You can subscribe to it as well. I need to use it more often, but I haven't.
Well, how can they subscribe to it?
They can go to YouTube and type in Kaiserrific, and then the page will come up, and they can just click on subscribe.
All right. I'm going to try to put that in the comments so that you can just easily find it by a click. Sometimes they let me do it. Sometimes they don't. So I'll do the best that I can. But I want you to get your message across today. If there's any one thing that you can say to new talent out there, not just in poetry, not just an author, but just new talent, if there's one piece of advice that you can give the people today, what would that be?
Don't be discouraged, because once you get into this business, it's gonna be a lot of things out here in this world. The people what comes with it is gonna come criticism. You're gonna get praise. You're gonna get criticism. You're gonna have your failures. You're gonna have your victories. Just don't give up. Don't feel like it's the end. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. Oh, I got a career in this. If this is something that you love doing, this is something you're passionate about, don't give up. Just keep working hard at it. Continue to work hard at it, and go forward. Map out a plan for yourself. Outline your own plan. What do you want to be as an artist? How do you want people to remember you or know you? So basically, that's
the best advice. That's the best advice.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys take it. We really appreciate you coming on the show, giving us some very, very sound advice, some great advice. You gave us some great books here to talk about today. And you're a poet, you're a photographer, you're just everything that I want everybody in the world to be. You are that.
Thank you.
Just be so diverse that no one can stop you. Being unstoppable. Right. And I feel like that's what you are. You are unstoppable, and nobody is diverting you. And that's what's important. You're doing what you want to do because you want to do it. Exactly how you opened it up. Exactly. And so I really appreciate you again for coming out. Thanks for answering the call. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in for another show of Life Be Life in the podcast. Don't forget to go out and get these books. Here, let me get it a little closer for you so you can see. That's how you spell his name, and that's how you'll get his books. 21. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye for now.